Hello Internet, and welcome to the start of a new series of Bazzle Spot Live. We're here on the first day of VGC 19 being on Battle Spot, so here we go. Let's try and do something, I guess. Put a bit of a team together. I've not really played much on Showdown, to be honest, so this is a bit of a kind of team. I mean, everyone says this, don't they? Kind of thrown together, but it's kind of based on my 16 Worlds team. Maybe it doesn't look like it, but there's the Smurgle, Xerneas, Volcrona, and Scrafty, which I had on that team. And Rayquaza isn't very good without Dragon Ascent, unfortunately. So Lunala, I think, is probably the best partner for Xerneas, maybe, as far as restrictions go. Might try some different things, later on in the season, obviously. And without the airlock with Rayquaza, rain and weather in general might be a bit of a problem. Rain especially though, so I put Ludicolo in this last slot just to try and help with that and make the team look a little bit more colourful too. But I don't know, I mean, if you're sitting there thinking, I'm not really comfortable in this format at all, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not happy with any of my teams, then I'm feeling exactly the same. Like, exactly the same. Like, I've had not much time for this format so far, I've hardly played anything, so this is going to be a learning experience. This guy's got 2 fire restricted Pokemon. Okay. Well, I don't know. This looks like a very winnable game. So the type of Coco could have Taunt. Sableye could have Taunt. Superior could have Taunt. I'm just thinking how he stops the Geomancy here. Because he hasn't got any Trick Room setters. I just feel like Geomancy just wins this game. So, let's do it. Yeah, alright, let's do it. Let's go with Smurgle. Smurgle Xerneas. I mean, it's been a while, hasn't it? But I feel like it's the way to go, surely. We'll go with Scrafty as well, just for another Intimidate on the Groudon. And we'll go with Lunala, just because it's big and strong and powerful. And the second restricted Pokemon, I guess. So, yeah, let's see how this goes. I don't think his team looks that... I mean, I'm sitting here critiquing a VGC 19 team on the first day that it's out. Like I'm some kind of expert. But I don't think his team looks too solid. So, I'm not seeing how he beats Xerneas. Maybe he's got, like, Roar on something. He could have Roar on Tapu Koko. He could have Roar on Reshiram, I guess. Reshiram doesn't have Trick Room, does it? I am also noticing, though, an Electric Seed on the Tapu Koko, but I'm noticing that the ability from Reshiram came out first. So that is a Choice Scarf Reshiram. So what I am going to do is actually just go for a Follow Me. Tapu Koko could have Sky Drop. Ooh, yeah, it could have Sky Drop. I mean, it could go for a Fake Out. What is Reshiram actually going to do to Xerneas? Probably quite a lot, actually. Blue Flare, I think, is its move. Will do a lot of damage, even if it is Scarfed. So do I Fake Out the Reshiram? He could Taunt the Xerneas. He could Sky Drop the Smurgle. I'm just going to go for a Follow Me and Geomancy. If I get the Geomancy off, I think I'm fine, but I think it really depends on what this Tapu Koko goes for. So the Reshiram, Scarfed. We'll see what it does. It goes for a Fusion Flare, which is, I think, the base 100 one, isn't it? It's the one that Kieran White has, the one that I used on the Gravity team. And it is just a Wild Charge, okay. So, it's a physical Tapu Koko. Maybe we'll see more physical Koko this year. But, here's the good old Geomancy animation. So, it's not an Assault Vest Koko because it's Electric Seed. So, I'm thinking, does a Dazzling Gleam knock out Tapu Koko? Does it matter if it doesn't? Because I'm probably going to put in Scrafty here. I could just go for a Fake Out and Moonblast, really. That is a bit of a passive turn, though, I suppose. I mean, what else am I going to do? I mean, Fake Out, Dazzling Gleam. Ooh, the options. I suppose I don't have to Fake Out, do I? But then maybe I do have to Moonblast into the Koko just to definitely one-shot it. But I mean, Blue Flare, Fusion Flare, wasn't it? Isn't really going to do much to Xerneas. it ignores abilities, doesn't it? Not stat boosts. So yeah, it's really not going to be doing much damage at all. So that Reshiram is not actually a threat at all. So I'm going to go for a fake out into the Tapu Koko, and I just want to learn here. I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. I want to see if a +2 Dazzling Gleam knocks out a non-assault vested Tapu Koko. I'm thinking it might do. Maybe that fake out put it in range. Okay, so it does knock out Tapu Koko. And this fusion flare isn't going to do much damage. So sorry for the you know, disrespect there, I guess, Reshiram, but it's not actually doing that much damage. Blue Flare is the more powerful move, but it is, I believe, 85% accurate, I think. Okay, so we put Sableye in. So he could have Quash. He could, I mean, Quash is, you know, really the, I guess, like the best thing you can do against me, but he's still hitting me with a Fusion Flare, isn't he? He's not actually doing anything. So, yeah, maybe I'm just overthinking this too much. And, yeah, let's just go for some attacks, I guess. I could fake out. He just Will-O-Wisps. Doesn't affect Scrafty because I'm a Dark type. Okay. And that looks like a Roselli Berry Sableye, which allows it to hang on, but the knockoff is going to finish it off. Alright, so this has been a pretty quick first game. So we'll look for another one and continue our climb. I say climb. I mean, honestly, I think with this team, I'll probably stick into the 1,500s for forevermore. I think this team is pretty mediocre. I don't feel like I have answers for many things. Like, I've taken Thunderous off the team, which was on the 16 Worlds team, which means things like Crobat will literally just beat me. So, I don't know. It's all a learning experience. I mean, we can't be too afraid to, you know, take some losses, can we? Especially at this early stage in the format. There's no harm in that. But yeah, as I kind of expected, Geomancy just kind of went through his team. So that's really what Xerneas does to unprepared people. But I'm sure he will prepare quite soon after that. So yep, let's go on. I mean, it's interesting how many people have things like Raw on Incineroar and like anything that can learn Raw pretty much, and Whirlwind if you can learn Whirlwind now. Because Xerneas was always around in 16 as well, but it just seems like right now, from what I've seen, the format is sort of ultra anti-Xerneas. So this is, you know, for that reason also maybe not the best kind of team to sort of jump into this with, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I have got Redirection for Raw. It's just when it's unexpected. And Red Card as well, when it's unexpected, in best of one like it is on BattleSpot. So this guy from Japan has got a positive rating. And he has got... he's got 2 Steel types. So, Ludicolo is maybe the thing that I would change first on this team to maybe something like Tapu Bulu. Because at least then I would have options to Spore when they've got a Tapu Fini or a Koko. Because this looks pretty nasty actually. I'm like, this is not good. He can Trick Room. He's got 2 Trick Room setters. Yveltal is naturally faster than Lunala as well, which is really the thing that I've got to threaten the Duskmane Necrozma. They tend to have Haze on Finny now as well. Alright, well I think I am actually going to go with Smeargle and Lunala. At least there's no Incineroar on his team, but I guess he has got the Yveltal instead. So because he has got the Yveltal, I'm going to take Xerneas, which is pretty good against the Finny, the Gastrodon, the Cresselia, the Yveltal, just not the 2 Steel types there. And I think I want the Scrafty. Like, this is a game where I'm thinking Volcarona would actually be quite good, but what would I take it over? Over Smeargle, I suppose, but I don't know. Smeargle's my comfort blanket, you see. I like Smeargle. Like, Smeargle can do, like, so many things. Like, there's not many times there's a turn where you're there with Smeargle thinking Smeargle's actually not doing anything. Unless it's taunted, I suppose. So, this guy has picked up some wins. Let's, you know, try and win. Alright, so He's got both of his Trick Room setters. Look at that, 7 minutes as well. We've got 7 minutes of your time. So these are both his Trick Room setters. You would expect, looking at my lead, that I'm going to try and spore something, wouldn't you? So either you switch one of these into Finny. That wouldn't protect the Cresselia, so you switch to Finny. You switch the Cresselia into Finny, which also protects the Necrozma as he gets a Trick Room. I guess. So, I'm going to predict that and go for a double Moongeist Beam into Necrozma and see where this takes us. So, okay. So he's just staying in with both. He is probably going to Trick Room. I think these tend to have weakness policy on them too. Yeah, here's the weakness policy. Didn't actually consider that Necrozma could be faster than Smeargle. What's his base speed? 77, I think, isn't it? But it isn't, and we get the Instruct off, and we get to instruct, first ever time instructing a Moongeist Beam. There we go. But yeah, he's probably going to Trick Room here. Because Necrozma's gone, that really opens the door quite far for Xerneas. Unless he's got Ferrothorn in the back, but he actually just goes straight for an Ice Beam into Smeargle. So unless he freezes, I'm quite content with that turn. So Yveltal comes in, of course it does, yeah, and will probably be faster than Smeargle. So this is the problem. I can obviously try and spore the Yveltal. I've got Scrafty and Xerneas in the back. If I switch Xerneas into a knockoff, then I won't be able to Geomancy. But is that so much of a problem now? Because we are, 4-3 up quite early on. Scrafty looks very good. I mean, they could have Oblivion Wing. That is a move that we didn't really see too much in 16. Yveltal is probably going to be faster, to be honest. So I'm going to put Smeargle in, and I'm going to swap Lunala into Scrafty. So a double switch here. If it is a physical Yveltal, then it's going to be -1, which will be nice. If it is physical, it's probably going to be going for a knockoff into Smeargle, though, you have to imagine. Or maybe he takes this turn to Trick Room. What I was also going to say is I've spent the last 2 years playing with teams where I'm in the mindset of if they get their Trick Room off, they have won the game. But with Scrafty, actually, it's a pretty nifty... Yeah, so it is knockoff into Xerneas. It is a pretty nifty... I'm going to say answer. It's somewhat of an answer to Duskmane Necrozma in Trick Room. Obviously, Cresselia in Trick Room. The Intimidates are fantastic as well too. So this team does have some kind of answer for Trick Room in a way. Certainly better than my last 2-year teams were. But no Geomancy this game. But we're in a decent position still. So I'm going to Moonblast the Yveltal. Not sure it'll knock it out in one hit. I don't really want to risk him having Oblivion Wing. But at the same time... I mean, the Fake Out is quite obvious too, isn't it? So I'm just going to go for a knockoff into Cresselia. If he protects the Yveltal or switches it out, fair enough. He does switch it out. Fair enough. It is Ferrothorn too. Okay, so Scrafty is very good in this matchup, then, especially if he doesn't have... What's it called? But now he's probably going to be Trick Rooming. A Colberberry. You know what? I've seen quite a few Colberberry on things this year so far. And there's the Trick Room. Alright, so... I mean, I felt like we were in a decent position. Because he has got Ferrothorn in the back. That is a bit of a pain. So I feel like I'm going to have to try and switch some things around now. So there's no Finny, we know that. Smeargle Slash is broken though. I think we do want to withdraw the Scrafty though. The Intimidate would be really nice here. So I think I'm going to use this turn to just put Lunala in, just soak up some damage. Because his last Pokemon is Yveltal, Lunala is only really here for these two Pokemon. Okay, so in comes the Evoltol. So, you know, very smart switch by him. If he has got Oblivion Wing, then actually things are starting to look pretty bad. So this is turned into a pretty toasty game now. This is good stuff. And he has just power whipped into Lunala, which shouldn't take too much. I say it shouldn't take too much. I mean, that's a good amount of damage through the thingy, the move. Xerneas did safely protect last turn, you know, playing super safe there. Could have attacked, but I really didn't want to just lose Xerneas like that. I can't really play like that. So, what do we do now? I guess we put the Scrafty in. Hope he doesn't have Oblivion Wing and predict the switch. And we don't know the nature of this Evoltol either. We don't know if it is actually faster than Lunala. It just feels super safe, super predictable to protect here. It really just feels too predictable. If the Ferrothorn goes for another Gyro, another Power Whip here, then maybe it's banded? Not really sure on the rolls on Lunala. He is Gyro Ball, okay. So unless he Oblivion Wings into the slot too, just a knockoff. Okay, so he predicted something, swapping in there. He used my Lumberry, but I'm not going to need a Lumberry in this game. And now I can just go for a Fake Out into the Evoltol and try and Moongeist Beam into the Ferrothorn. We do definitely need some damage in this Ferrothorn, but if he protects, fair enough. He's losing one more turn of Trick Room, but again, we need to threaten this Ferrothorn. We do need to be doing some damage to the Ferrothorn. If it's a 50% berry as well, then well, we'll have to see if we activate it or how we go about this. Okay, that's a decent amount of damage actually. So Evoltol flinched. So Evoltol was moving after Lunala. So actually that is, now we know that is a jolly Evoltol, because it seems to be physical as well. And this is the last turn of Trick Room. So Lunala can move before the Evoltol here. It could have Sucker Punch though. So actually, I think... Oh, what do we do here? I think Scrafty is too important. We're going to put Smeargle in. And just protect. Probably going to be losing Smeargle here. But if we do... what, Xerneas comes in and Moonblast, Moongeist Beam? Oh yeah, he has got Sucker Punch. Okay. And he actually doubles into Lunala. Okay. Alright then. Well, I'll take that, because now that is a free Fake Out into Evoltol and a Moongeist Beam into Ferrothorn. If Ferrothorn protects, again, I can just attack it for you next turn. If it switches into Cresselia, we know it hasn't got a 50% berry, because we knocked off its, or it activated rather, its Colbur Berry. Colbur Berry is an interesting item. I think, you know, it had a bit of usage straight away, but, I mean, for obvious reasons too. I mean, it could go quite nicely on the Nala as well, and Sol, all of the, Solgaleo, all of the Necrozma forms. Because not only does it reduce the damage, obviously being a Colbur Berry, but the damage is calculated on the 65. It's not doubled because of the knocking off of an item. So he does protect the Ferrothorn, which is fair enough. So yeah, again, confirmation that Evoltol is faster there, unless he was going for a Sucker Punch, but we already know it is. So now, I guess we just go for a Follow Me. We have still got Scrafty and Xerneas in the back. And again, just Moongeist Beam into the Ferrothorn. We don't need to mess around here. If he does switch in the Cresselia, then it probably will survive. And if he knocks off the Smeargle, then obviously that will go down too. So, I mean, this isn't over by any means. He does just sacrifice the Ferrothorn though, so I'm pretty comfortable with Xerneas winning this game now, I think. I think. Because if I put Xerneas in now and swap Lunala into Scrafty, then Xerneas has taken some damage. Then if he Trick Rooms, we've still got Scrafty, but we haven't got Drain Punch. So I mean, this is still somewhat sticky. If I put Scrafty in now, then we don't threaten the Yveltal at all. So I think we have to put Xerneas in here. So I mean, this has been a pretty nice game, to be honest. Second game on the ladder. It's been a competitive game. Yeah, definitely. But now I think we have to Moonblast into the Yveltal, and Lunala is maybe going to get Sucker Punched here. So maybe I whip out my last move and Calm Mind instead. But I think my opponent is just as disconnected. He's forfeit. He doesn't want to play anymore. He knows I've won the game. Yeah, okay, so it's a shame that didn't go through, but I'm pretty sure we won there. In fact, I'm very certain that we won there. Didn't get to use Calm Mind, but we look for one more game, and let's see how we go. So, actually 2-0. I'm sure we'll lose this last game, though. I mean, I really don't think this team is too solid, but I don't know. We'll see, won't we? I need to get my head properly into VGC 19 as well too, because I've really not done too many games on Showdown. So people are going to be very prepared for Xerneas, and they're going to know what to do against Xerneas. And I'm going to be here doing my first games, thinking, oh, that's just people aren't going to expect this, are they? And lose. But I don't know. Let's see. Been an interesting start so far. I mean, the first guy didn't really have too much of a solid team. He had 2 restricted Pokemon at least. And the last game was actually pretty competitive. Yveltal, like, this is one of the things, like, Lunala is, I think, a pretty good partner for Xerneas. I'm not entirely sold on Lunala just yet, though. I mean, it does attack things like another guy with a positive rating, which is nice. It does hit Bronzong and Aegislash and, some of the other steel types that, hit us quite hard. Hit Xerneas quite hard, quite nicely. But it is slower than Yveltal, and there is another Yveltal here too. And I can't really set up with anything because he's got a Ditto as well. Okay. Yveltal is another potential replacement for Rayquaza on this kind of team. I could easily swap Lunala for Yveltal, but then maybe things like... Oh, I'm not sure actually. Because, I mean, they kind of hit roughly the same things. Okay. But anyway, let's think about this. Sucker Punch would be nice as well. Maybe I'll try with Yveltal. I just wanted to try out Lunala being a brand new Pokemon and all. Let's actually try and think about what we're going to do here too. Okay, I mean, maybe I could go the Xerneas route. Because really the only thing he has got for Xerneas is his Ditto and his Ferrothorn. So I'm going to take Volcarona here. I'm going to see if we can get some red card whirlwind shenanigans going. And I think we want Scrafty here, so I'm not going to take Lunala. I'm just going to take like all eggs in the Xerneas basket here, which is obviously something that I'm very used to, but I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? I mean, this is quite close to a 16 game, but he has got Incineroar on his team, which he does lead with, so Double Dark. Is it going to be max speed? Is he going to try and knock off my Xerneas? Or will he just let me set up because he thinks, well, even if he does, I've got Ditto in the back. So let's think. If I fake out the Incineroar and Geomancy, next turn he switches the Yveltal into Ditto and maybe Roars. So I should still have a follow me there, I think. So I'm actually just going to go for a fake out into Incineroar and a Geomancy. Worst case scenario is he is Jolly Max Speed Evoltol and wins a speed tie and gets a knockoff on my Xerneas. But if that was a speed tie, we won it and we have the Geomancy. So now really Ditto is, excuse me, the biggest thing that we have to worry about in the back. Which in almost any other year of VGC sounds like quite a strange thing to say, but Ditto is pretty good this year. And he has gone for a knockoff into Smeargle. So we are down to the Focus Sash. Fair enough. Because we faked out the Incineroar, we know the Incineroar hasn't got a red card on it. The Ditto might have a red card on it though. Yeah, the Ditto might have a red card on it. I didn't consider that. Because, I mean, right, I attack into the Evoltol slot, fair enough, but so I'm not gonna attack into the Evoltol slot. I'm gonna Spore the Evoltol as it probably switches into Ditto and Moonblast the Incineroar. Because if it isn't Assault Vested, here comes the Ditto, surely. Yeah, if it isn't Assault Vested, this should go down to a Moonblast unless it's like super especially bulky. So here's his Ditto now. We don't know on the item on his Ditto yet. It could be red card. I think that was the... Oh, it survived. That is a very specially defensive Incineroar. So I hope it hasn't got Roar on it. If it has, we're in some trouble. At least he hasn't got, you know, Finial Coco, so we can easily just Spore here. And it's U-turn. Okay, into the Smeargle, which I don't mind at all, actually, because it means that I get a free switch into my Volcarona, so I can just Whirlwind this Ditto out straight away. He might be bringing in his Ferrothorn, he might be bringing in his, if he's got it, and yeah, he might be bringing in his Xerneas as well, so there's no Ferrothorn at least. So now there's Evoltol and Incineroar in the back, right? So Volcarona definitely comes out here. 100% comes out here. We know that his Ditto cannot wake up either this turn. So I just Whirlwind into it very safely and not risking the red card on the Ditto. I'm just going to go for a Moonblast into his Xerneas too. Because if it isn't a really bulky Xerneas, then it should go down to a Moonblast too. If it doesn't go down to a Moonblast, then I will still be faster, hopefully, the next turn as well. It just knocks it out, critical hit. I'm not sure if that mattered or not, but good old 16 Volcarona doing the business here with the Whirlwind. So that's going to bring it into Evoltol, okay, and it means that he can't, like, he's got to bring in the Incineroar here because he doesn't want, or maybe he does want to transform into my Ditto, into my Volcarona. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? But no, it's just gone like this. The game is, you know, absolutely not over yet because if it is a red card Ditto, if I knock out one of these Pokemon, I can't Whirlwind it out, and I will lose still. So I'm in a decent position, but it's definitely not a winning position just yet. So what do we actually do here? I'm thinking, actually, of Whirlwinding the Evoltol. Oh, but then if the Evoltol doesn't switch, I'm just Whirlwinding him into his Ditto, aren't I? But surely he switches the Evoltol into the Ditto. If he switches the Evoltol into the Ditto, then fair enough, it's still asleep, isn't it? And I'm just going to protect the Xerneas this turn. I'm not really threatened by anything. I don't need to protect here. And he hasn't switched either, so I am Whirlwinding him into his Ditto. Yeah, so fake out, protect. Ooh, Tailwind. Well, that's interesting. Ditto is still asleep, isn't it? But it has burnt one turn of sleep now. So this could be very nasty. We'll see. At least we know where the Ditto is now. There's no mind games thinking, oh, is Ditto going to switch into this or that? He's got Tailwind up. If Ditto Moonblast, fine. We've still got the red card on Volcarona, so we'll Rage Powder here. If he Dazzling Gleams, it's not going to do that much damage to Xerneas. So, and we'll still activate the red card and swap him out. So we're going to Moonblast again into the Incineroar. I think we should still be okay here. It's just a little bit scary still. Especially because if we are knocking the Incineroar out here, we can't Whirlwind him out. And he does just Moonblast, okay. So that is really, in my mind, why I didn't Whirlwind him this turn. Because the red card basically does what I want for it. If he stayed asleep, then I wouldn't have been able to have done that. So maybe this has worked out in my favour. But if he didn't wake up, he'd still be asleep. And wouldn't have done any damage that turn. So, I don't know. Moonblast definitely knocks out the Incineroar. And the Ditto has to transform into my Volcarona now. Which is again interesting because he will be able to Whirlwind my Xerneas here. So this has been this has been an interesting game too. Actually, I can just Rage Powder the Whirlwind, can't I? And he can't transform into what was my red card in anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna Rage Powder here, and a +2 Dazzling Gleam. Does that knock out Yveltal? What have I got in the back? It's Scrafty in the back, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be extra safe, just in case it's maybe like a really bulky Yveltal. Yeah, okay, so he's forfeited. So yeah, I'm just gonna assume that was red card on the Ditto there, all these Pokemon names. So yeah, I mean that worked out quite nicely. That was bringing back the shades of VGC 16, bringing back the thoughts and everything. So was the red card basically? It turned into a game of. But yeah, well, there we go. End of the first video of the VGC 19 format. So, you know, please subscribe. Please like this. Please join me. And enjoy the rest of the videos. Because I am indeed planning on uploading videos for the rest of the week. Fingers crossed. So, thank you very much, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed this. And goodbye for now. See you soon.